Have you ever wished you could eavesdrop on a conversation with a millionaire? My name is Michelle Thompson. I'm a retired project controls engineer and business professor, and that's exactly what I'm going to do in this podcast. I get to ask the questions that everyone else wishes they could. I'm going to find out exactly how they were able to build their empires through automation and outsourcing. And I'm going to break it down in a way that helps you build your business to run on autopilot. Don't miss out on Automate to Dominate. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Automate to Dominate. Today's guest is Kevin Holloman, and he is going to teach us all about Serp Shaker and the incredible world of affiliate marketing on automation. Kevin, thank you for joining us on the show.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Can you give everybody just a little bit of a background on, when you were working, how you partially transitioned out of your job and now fully out of your job, and how did you do all that?
All right. So I'm the typical married with children guy. So just hit the big 4-0 last month, as a matter of fact. But I spent 11 years with our local beer service. It's for Anheuser-Busch delivery. And I took Greg's course, SEO Affiliate Domination. And at the time I was working long hours because the beer business, it's seasonal. So during summer months, it's really long. And I kind of I kind of disciplined myself in a way, I guess you could say. Like 7 o'clock was my goal. So if I got off at 4 o'clock, I'd work on the side till like 7 on Greg's course. I try to build some websites following it. If I got lucky and I had a day I got off at noon, I would still work till 7. It was just like my thing. And I started getting some traction around December 2017, I believe it was now. So it took about 7 months in for where we finally were able to buy our forever home. I was still working with Anheuser-Busch there, but it's funny how as money starts coming in and all of a sudden your side income is replacing your day job income, it's weird how much less you're willing to really tolerate from your job that you don't really like so much. So I had options. It's like you go in every day and you're like, oh, I'm only going to do this much because I don't have to be here. Not to really, I guess you'd have to understand how they were to me over 11 years to understand why I would have a sour attitude towards them. But anyway, about 2 months after we bought the house, I decided to go full time. I had a little run in there at work, and it was really no hard feelings. It was just, to me, I was going self-employed anyway. I had nobody, that was waiting to hire me. I already had my own thing going. So we just kind of couldn't reach an agreement to keep me on for the next couple of months. So it was August of 2018 at this point, so that I went full time, and I've been doing it ever since. So.
Nice. So for those people who don't know, can you tell us about Greg's course? What did you learn in there?
Yeah, so Greg's course is actually an overall SEO course. It just kind of gives you a lot of different strategies that you can take as far as search engine optimization. So for those that don't know what that is, it's when you search for something in Google or Yahoo or whatever, and you get the results on the first page, you're trying to find things. Well, search engine optimization is what makes those results show. So the better you are at it, the better your chance of being number one is when people search for something. Obviously, number one gets the most traffic, which in turn gets the most sales, and that's kind of where you want to be. Well, Greg, he had a little section in his course, and it was titled "Probably the Quickest Way to Make Your Investment Back," because if you haven't taken his course, when you buy it, he does give you the opportunity to earn your money back. It's kind of like an incentive versus doing a refund. He kind of forces you to take action because he knows what he teaches works, and he wants to show you that. So like his reputation behind his course and his willingness to help far exceeds the money that you gave him for the course. I mean, he will actually give it to you back. But I paid close attention to that section because I had taken I'd been a part of Wealthy Affiliate for like 4 to 6 months on the side. They had some cool little like a beginner SEO things. If you didn't know how to set up a WordPress site, or plugins, things like that. I remember every Friday night they had a guy that did a live video training that was something related to SEO, which was actually my favorite part of Wealthy Affiliate. But I had taken it, and I had taken some Udemy courses that were like advanced SEO. But SEO it can be very complex, and that's why you have like people specialize in different things. Some people are great for building, private blog networks. Some people are great article writers. Some people are great with keyword research, backlinks. There's a lot of different services that tie into SEO, and one person can really not be a master of them all. So I paid attention to that segment of his course, and it was a different approach because you really didn't need to know how to do any of that. It was basically you come up with an article or a couple of articles, and this method, which is what I use, Serp Shaker, shows you how to take this article and take thousands of long tail keywords, and this one article can be spun 1,000 different times, using a different keyword each time that it's spun. So like in one click of a button, pretty much you're creating 1,000 articles, each has a different long tail keyword. And when people look up these long tail keywords, they may see that, hey, this phrase right here doesn't get any searches a month, or this phrase right here, say this phrase right here gets 10 searches a month. That's not a lot when the main keyword probably gets 3,000 or 4,000 searches a month. No. But when you've done 1,000 articles times 10 keyword searches a month, think about all the free traffic that you have coming in, and those are eyes on your offer. So that's what I ran with. And I mean, I made some tweaks, to what he teaches. But the basis of it altogether is pretty much the same. It's exactly where I started. And I was like, well, hey, I like to experiment. So it's like, I'm going to try these type of domains. I'm going to try these types of site maps, things like that. And I just kind of here we are 2 years later almost. And I finally I put a course together myself on my approach to it. I mean, it's made me a full-time living at this point for almost 2 years. So, I've coached several people that have been successful with it. And, I got a lot of people that was wanting me to build a course. So here we are.
So just to clarify, so what you're doing is you're going out and you're finding some type of affiliate product that you want to promote.
That's correct.
And then from there, you're doing some research and finding a ton of, like, a ton being like 10,000 long tail keywords that are not like the top competitive that you're not going to be able to rank. You're looking for the little guys.
Looking for a lot of the little fish.
And so then you're building a website and you're using a program called Serp Shaker to basically blast out 10,000 articles. And so it's basically like 1,000 little hooks in the sea trying to get somebody to your webpage. Is that correct?
That's a great explanation of it. That's exactly what I do. Because again, like even major keywords. Okay. So if you were like an expert with traditional SEO, even these major keywords are the same keywords that the main companies themselves are running like an advertising budget for. That, if they're a big company, take Apple, for example, they have like an endless budget. So no matter how well your SEO is, they're always going to rank above you with their ad spend. So that's another reason why it's a different approach, and you don't really have to go, pull your hair out trying to figure out how you're going to rank number one for this keyword. And that's a lot of time also invested in one keyword, where you could just be going after, 1,000, 2,000 keywords in like a matter of minutes.
And
So
your traffic is all free too. It's all
right,
free organic traffic, right? You're not paying for
exactly,
any of that.
exactly.
Okay,
So
awesome. So that's super cool. How in the world do you know what products to pick?
well, actually, to start with, I didn't really. What I did, and I showed this in my course also. I paid attention to things like Google Trends, Amazon's bestsellers. I don't know if you're familiar with a website called GearBest. It's kind of like Amazon, but I think it's like an overseas version. I would pay attention to their top sellers. I would Google like top affiliate products 2019, for example, and I would just read articles, Facebook groups. Some people are stingy if they got a converting product, but if you're in enough affiliate marketing groups and stuff, you hang around and you read enough, you catch on to what seems to be doing well. I know one of the biggest known products, obviously, is ClickFunnels. So that was a no-brainer for me going after that one. But I put time and research into things like that. So I'll give you a good example because I don't have any sites that promote it now, and that was mainly just I don't want to say due to laziness. It's just I turned my attention to other products. But vaping around here became huge, like especially in like 2018. Everybody was vaping. Every gas station would sell it, things like that. So I knew it was very popular. So I went to Google Trends, and I want to see what the term vaping has done over the last like 5 years, and you could just see it spike straight up. So I was like, as long as I look at something on Google Trends and it's kind of like a level thing on the graph over the last year or a couple of years, and it's not like plummeting down, to me that's a good product to chance. So I went after vaping, and I did just 2 sites. That's all I did. It was the same articles, just 2 different sites, and it was bringing in probably $500 or $600 a month for a good while there. Um, Long story short, this is going to be pretty funny. One of the expired domains I bought uh, just happened to be a major meat company throughout the United States. So as much money as it was making me through vaping, it got noticed by the actual meat company, who then had their attorneys, emailing me, and then I can't even tell you what the department is for the internet without looking up the email. Some weird people I've never even heard, they're messaging me like they're wanting me to stop all traffic to this website. They're wanting to sue me over the use of the brand and things like that. So I was stubborn for about a month. I was like, nah, I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight it. And then I was like, you know what? I can just duplicate the material and just be done with the domain. And that's what I did. And granted, now the duplicate didn't make $600 a month, but it was still probably around $400 a month. So, I mean, that wasn't bad. I just
Yeah.
decided I better pick and choose my battles. Cause I mean, if they're grabbing attorneys and, things like that. But my thing was, if you own the .com and you're a major brand, that's your fault that you didn't buy the .org. I owned the .org for a good year or more at the time that they found me and wanted to sue me over it. I'm like, So we just transferred that material to a new site. We released the domain. I gave it to them. I was like, and I just backed myself out of the problem.
So let's say somebody's like kind of new to this, right? And
Okay.
they know they want to target vaping, since we use that as an example. How do they find affiliates to be able to market?
Okay, so the best thing to do there, from my experience, when it comes to like vaping products, ShareASale is probably going to be the affiliate network that has the most options to choose from there. Uh, I don't recommend showing them a mass site. It's not that most affiliate managers take the time to sift through it and go, wow, these articles sound similar or whatnot. But what I always did, especially when getting started, is I built a simple, like a template of a website that was going to be about vaping, for example. And I just had 5, and they were small, 300 to 500 word articles on like vaping. And then I just submitted it to ShareASale, like, hey, I'm interested in your vaping programs, et cetera, et cetera. And then they approved it. So from there, you just kind of, once you're approved with ShareASale, then you have to find the companies individually, and apply with them. And most of them with the vaping were really cool. You know, you might find some people here or there. I'll give you an example. Purple Mattress, for example. Purple Mattress declined me from the start. For a long time, they wouldn't let me work with them. And then after I made substantial income with other brands, I reapplied and they were fine with it. So don't get disgruntled if you go in there and a vendor declines you. You know, they have, some people may be like, well, your site's not on topic for what we're looking for. Some people may say, well, you don't have enough search traffic, which was what Purple did. They didn't like the fact that I didn't have enough traffic for them at the time. So these are things that can always be corrected. And a lot of times vendors don't even care if you're in the same niche. They just want to see that you're competent enough to put together a decent looking site. And they're like, okay, well, we'll approve them. And from there, you know, you can put things on the same site. When I first got started, I didn't have a niche down site. I just had one random site. It was like a random deal site. I had all kinds of niches, all kinds of offers, all kinds of articles. And from there, I just watched what traffic, you know, which articles brought the traffic in, which articles were selling the things. That's one thing that ShareASale is great for. When you make a sale, it shows you the URL that somebody bought from. So over time, you're like, okay, this article right here really works well. For whatever reason, people love this article. So from there, you need to take that article and, you know, you need to create a duplicated site with Serp Shaker. You know, it's going to read a little differently, but you're going to use the same keywords. It's just going to spin it a little differently, and you're going to go with the same article and hopefully, you know, scale it up from there.
So you've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Right.
How many sites would you say you have now?
Well, right now I've actually let some die. I took if we're being honest, I took like a 4 or 5 month vacation where it felt good to be retired. Like I didn't do any work at all. So some sites have dwindled down, but that's the thing about what it is that I do. It's, I don't know if I'd call it automation, but I would call it passive income to an extent. Because once you get the sites up there, they last a good while. Now with Shaker sites, to answer your question, by the way, I probably had about 40 of them at the peak. Now there's probably about half of that. So thing about Shaker sites is Google will eventually, as they crawl your sites, they'll come back later and they'll be like, well, this article sounds a lot like this article. It sounds a lot like this article, and they'll start de-indexing results from you. So the longevity of the sites, you can guess safely probably about 6 months, which is plenty of time to know rather an article or a product or whatever is going to convert. And by that time, you should have already duplicated it and made other websites anyway. But with that being said, sometimes you get the oddball domain. Like I've got one, for example. If you Google it, Google says that it only has 5 results in all of Google, but I still make sales 4 or 5 times a week through Google with this domain, and this is 2 years running at this point. So sometimes you just get a good domain like that.
Wow. So for the most part, these are burn and churn sites. You get
pretty
about
much,
6 months, and then you got to do something else with it.
Right. So I teach, you know, in my course, I teach you ways that you can scale it either by duplicating what works, or I show you, I kind of deep dive into it in the training, but you kind of go in the background and I show you within Google Analytics which articles, which keywords or whatnot are working. And if it's a niche that you want to try to make an authority site around, because an authority site will stay, you know, once Google indexes it, it's in it for the long haul, you know, assuming you don't do anything crazy with it. So I can show you which articles, which keywords work. And, you know, if you write a good piece of content around those keywords, although authority sites take more time to get up and going, they do last better than the Serp Shaker method. So
So, I'm sorry, I think I was confused there for a second. What's the difference between you said scaling and then Serp Shaker? I thought they were one and the same. Where's the distinction there? Are you building authority sites with
But
the ones that are
right,
doing good?
okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So if you're going to scale duplicating, you're going to use Serp Shaker. If you're going to scale the authority site method, you're not going to. What you're going to do is you're going to look in your analytics and you're going to find which keywords and which articles were working for that keyword. I'll give you an example. Like whenever I was doing ClickFunnels sites, I ranked number one for a good while for the term Russell Brunson's net worth. So it got about 1,100 visitors a month from that search term alone. But this was spun content that really didn't make much sense, but it was ranking number one. So I knew then if I had an authority site for ClickFunnels, I could just write a good article on, Russell Brunson's net worth, and I teach you strategies like, how to go about it. You need to start off, especially from like Google's perspective. Bing's a lot more lenient than Google. But with Google, you need to start off pretty much out of the gate addressing what the user came for. So like in your first paragraph somewhere, you would have needed to put Russell Brunson's net worth is X amount per year or whatever. And then, do a twist on it. How did he make this? Well, he's the author of so-and-so books. Those books, throw your affiliate links in. He's the founder of ClickFunnels. That little article there, throw your affiliate links in, and that article, I actually know the person that ended up writing the article that ranks number one to this day for that term. So
Nice. So you're basically using the Serp Shaker method to find your winners, and then once you find a winner, then you're building an authority site off of it.
my intentions before this was pre deciding to build a course. So I still may actually take this approach now that the course is built, was to find the winning articles, find the winning keywords. The keywords are more important than the articles really, because you're going to rewrite them for an authority site. Build an authority site and, over the course of like 12 months, get the traffic up. And then there's places like Empire Flippers or Flippa.com or whatever, where you can turn around and you can sell your affiliate sites for a substantial amount of money. So I was just going to build authority sites based off the traffic that my Serp Shaker sites got, and then turn around at like the end of a year and sell them. Just kind of flip authority affiliate sites.
Okay. So you were creating basically two streams of passive income simultaneously almost.
Right, and I might even need to put something in the training course as far as flipping the sites. And now that we're talking about it, I don't have a video on that, but
Yeah.
that was my idea, and it's still a good idea. The only thing is, and this is another place where Serp Shaker really helps. Authority sites, you got you're paying for pop-ups, you're paying for like email autoresponders, things like that. Like authority sites take funding, and a lot of people don't have the money to really go out and purchase these tools straight from the start. So use the income that your Shaker sites bring in to in turn buy your authority sites, buy your autoresponder. If you want to go deep dive and complex with it, to buy your backlinks from companies to rank your sites quicker, things like this. This is all things you can do to an authority site to make it grow with the intentions of flipping it a year later. And really none of the money come out of your pocket as far as like from your day job or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, that's huge. So you finally finished the course. Tell us, give us everything that's inside that course.
Okay, so it's called Mass Rank Mastery, which is at massrankmastery.com. It is I figured the best way to build a course based off of like all the questions I've got throughout the time of coaching or in Greg's group and whatnot was to build a site. Literally, you're over my shoulder during the training, so you watch me from start to finish build a site. You watch me from the very beginning, how I choose the domain name, how I hook the hosting to the website, how I install WordPress, how I do the logo design for free. You watch my product research, how I decide which products I'm going to go after. You see my keyword research, exactly what I do. I teach you like we just discussed, the scaling strategies once you find things that work. And then there's a couple of other tools and whatnot I have under like a bonus strategy section. So it teaches you other ways that you could, it could help you with scaling, or it could just kind of help you gain momentum out the gate from the start a little quicker. So that's pretty cool. And, me and Greg, ever since like becoming, I guess, like his first student success story, so to speak, we've kind of worked hand in hand over the last couple of years. We've developed a good friendship and things like that. And so since today I released it, I don't know how long he'll let this offer stand, because his course costs double what mine costs, but he's allowing everybody to buy my course and then get his for free as a bonus. So that's huge, because, Greg, although Greg's tried to stay under the radar, he's been on the ClickFunnels stage a time or two for the Dream Car winner. People know Greg. He's a bigger name than I am, but he's a lot like me. We're a lot alike. We both prefer staying kind of in the shadows. You look at people like Dan Henry. Dan Henry's a great marketer. He's a great speaker, but he's in a and he makes. I'm not going to say I wouldn't like to have Dan Henry's money. I'd like to have his money, but I don't want to do like the public speaking on the stages and things like that he does. I'd rather live a little more modest and kind of stay in the background. That's just the whole publicity thing just isn't my cup of tea, I guess you could say.
So if you were somebody who was on a shoestring budget and you had the time to put in, but you didn't have the money, sounds like this is a really good, viable option for somebody to get started and get their feet wet. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm not going to say that there's no money involved, because, without going on a tantrum of how much people spend on a college education just to get a job that may never even pay them what they spent in their education in their lifetime, you're going to have to put some money, you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to make some money. But I really, like in my course, I keep it as minimal as possible. You got to charge a price for the course, and everybody that I was looking at, they're either, they're $9.97, they're $14.97, they're $29.97. So I went $4.97. So I tried to undercut everybody as far as like how much it was. Plus you get Greg's course as a bonus, but also like within my training, other than, paying for Serp Shaker one time and like some hosting, which I have an option in there to get hosting for $5 a month. I've given everybody the either free or the most inexpensive route that they could pretty much take to make money. Serp Shaker, I haven't been to the site. I want to say it's around $130 or $150 or something like that. But it's a one-time fee, and if you want to put this on 100 sites like Greg's done, or I've probably put it on 40 or 50 in the past, it's just a one-time fee. And, I've got, like we said, at the peak, I probably had 40 different websites, but I've got one, because I bought that $150 plug-in, it's made me easily over 40 grand, just one website. So wow. You can't say it's not worth it,
Right. Okay, so this podcast is really all about automation and building passive income. So how exactly were you able to use all these sites to generate this passive income?
Okay, so I wouldn't really at this point say that I'm automated yet, although that is kind of like another plan in the future, because I want to find a way to kind of like turn my attention more towards the authority sites and flipping them, like we said. But at the same time, I want to it's probably be more like a VA job to continue to build the shaker sites for me. That way I've got them kind of being created the way that I create them. But as far as like passive income, uh, the good thing about these sites are, even if they don't have a lot of longevity to them, they'll last 6 months to a couple of years a piece. And when you scale them up, it's really kind of like a do the work one time thing, and then it's like people keep buying from your site. So I guess it's passive income in that sense, but I can tell you one thing that's really huge to me is it's a great way to separate your actual working time from your money. I'm not punching a clock. It's like, I'm not going, hey, I've got to sit down here and I've got to work 8 hours to make X amount of money. Like I said, I just took 4 months off, and money just steadily come in every day because I had put in the groundwork. So to me, that's, my perception of passive income working at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's the dream, right? Who doesn't
Uh,
want 40 sites with, $100 here, $300 there, $500 there coming
exactly.
in?
Exactly.
That's a really nice spot to be in.
It's I can't complain. It's been good to me. It's been good to me.
So, what do you think your hit rate is as far as, if you had to average it all out, what do you think the average is you make on a site, and how many complete losers do you get before you find a winner?
Um, as much as me and, as a matter of fact, this is in my course also, as much as me and Greg and even Tyler, we'll work together as like the Bermuda Triangle at times, and we try to put together, the perfect metrics to look for in an expired domain, um, to kind of ensure that you get that traction and you lift off kind of quick. Um, I've been able to prove the theories false every once in a while too. And not every site that you buy, even following the specifications to a T, is going to guarantee you that it will take off and work. However, if you say you buy 10 domains, I'm going to say 3 or 4 of them will work well. That's not to say that the other 5 or 6 might not make a random sale here and there. They may, but 3 or 4 of them are going to, take off and easily 10x, if not 100x the, the $20 that you spent to buy the expired domain. So, I have guidelines that I do, I look for in a domain and things, but as I said earlier, I kind of like to experiment too. I've bought domains that I knew were just crap. I can see it's got 4.3 million backlinks. I automatically know it's spam. And I'll try it for one niche and nothing. Like trickle in traffic here and there. Maybe 5 visits a month. And then I'll change into a completely different niche, and all of a sudden it's like 90 to 100 visitors a day. So even spam techniques can work sometimes. But I guess my hit rate, I'd say, I guess a safe number would be like maybe 30% of the domains that I buy really take off and do something well. But keep
Now,
in mind, these are domains that you're spending, like, by the time you add GoDaddy's fee in there and all that stuff, you're probably looking at like 16 or 17 bucks. The most I've ever spent on a domain was like $65, and I bought it through tbsolutions.info because they're a broker and they already do the research for you. Like, they've put in the time to test the anchor text and the backlinks and all that stuff. So, fortunately, when I started having money rolling in, this is what I was talking about when I'm saying let it fund your ventures itself. I could buy domains that were 60 or 80 bucks. When I was first starting off, there wasn't no way in this world. Like, I even Shaker sites, I even made them work with brand new domains. So you can expect it to take a little longer, but new domains will still work with it. So if you're on a like a really tight budget, I would say namesilo.com, because you can buy the domain for like $6. And then like innerserver.net, you can get the hosting for $5 a month. I mean, you can't really get any cheaper than that. You know, you don't you don't need to. You can build a email list with this method if you plan on like having an authority site in that niche. I've done it with the ClickFunnels niche, but you don't have to have an autoresponder or build an email list or any of the things that come along with an authority site unless you absolutely want to put the money into it. You know, from a building an email list perspective, it's pretty cool, but it didn't take me no time at all to realize I was not an email marketer. Like if I was to send out an email right now to that list, this would be the first time in probably a year and a half they've heard from me. They probably wouldn't know who I was. So I'm not an email marketer.
So you keep talking about, you know, a new domain versus an expired domain or age domain. For people who aren't familiar with this, help us out. Why is a expired age domain more valuable real estate?
All right, let's talk about the difference of it first. A new domain is when you're sitting in the shower and you go, hey, this would be a really cool website name. And then you go buy it. Nobody's ever had it, things like that. So that would be a new domain. An expired domain is a domain that was previously owned by a company or a person beforehand. And the benefits of it is Bing is, like I said, Bing is more forgiving than Google. With Google, it takes time to develop, you know, trust and authority with them. The more helpful articles they see you put out, the more visitors they see you get, the quicker Google starts ranking your next articles. Like a good example just off the top of my head, like PCGamer.com. PCGamer.com could go out today and they could write an article that's like top 10 dog food brands, has nothing to do with PC gaming, has nothing to do with anything, but because of the trust and authority site that PC Gamer has, it will rank #1 for that term. And that's kind of where the benefit of expired domains come in. You know, you're obviously to buy an expired domain like PCGamer.com, you pay ridiculous amount of money for, but we're looking ones that, you know, that's got a jump start, like on a scale of 0 to 100. You know, you're probably looking a 15 or a 20, just a domain that's got enough legwork that, hey, you know that some of my content will rank. So that hopefully that explains the difference a little bit.
Yeah. And you were talking about, you know, different silos and things like this. Now, you've put all this information in a book as well. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's, well, you say this is not going to air till May. It'll be done by then. It's called Fast Track to Freedom. How I scaled to 10K a month with like no product overhead, no ad spend or anything like that. And it's basically the written version of what my course teaches. I've tried to, I don't want to say dumb it down, but you know, make it for the beginner, because I know a lot of the terminology, like Serp Shaker, you know, short codes, things like that, without having experience with Serp Shaker, you don't really exactly know what it is. So I've tried my best to explain it in the book, but it's basically written out exactly step by step what I do, you know, and it's an ebook. It'll only be, you know, $5. Like I said, it's attached to a funnel. So, you know, of course there's some upsells. At the end of the day, I want you to get the course, obviously. But I have a little video upsell, which shows you the 10 products in 2020 that I'm going to be promoting. And the reason I did that is because, like, when we started this podcast, we kind of went over the product research. The product is the biggest deal of, you know, whether you're going to make the money or not. So I kind of just did all the groundwork for you and said, okay, I can guarantee you these products here are going to work, you know. So I do upsell that, but I'm excited about the book. I've got a little touching up to do with the funnels. It's mainly, I got to do a video sales letter for it, and then I got to put the pixels in and the funnel's done. So we'll see how that goes.
And what's the website to buy the course again?
MassRankMastery.com is for the course, and KevinsBookOffer.com will be if you're wanting to just go for the book, because I know a lot of people may just want to read the book's an ebook, so it's only 26 pages long. It's pretty much, like I said, a step-by-step tutorial on what it is that I do. And, with the book, the products and the course, there's, other than saying, okay, I'm not going to take any action at all, there's really no way that you can fail between the three of them. So.
Awesome. All right. So anybody who's listening, if this is something that intrigues you and you like the idea of having this passive income coming in by building a site once, definitely hit up Kevin's website and grab a hold of that course. And as always, you'll find the links for this in the show notes. So if you have any questions at all, hit up Kevin. He'll be happy to help you out. Kevin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
Have a great day, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Automate to Dominate podcast at www.awesomeoutsourcing.com/podcast. My name is Michelle Thompson. Hey guys, if you absolutely love this show, I would greatly appreciate it if you would head on over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star written review. That would be amazing. And as always, if you guys know somebody who should be listening to this podcast, please don't keep it all to yourself. Share it with your friends.